The United Nations, alongside with various partners, is looking at hosting a Buy Local and Grow Namibia fair later this week. The fair is part of the activities being rolled out in the second phase of Buy Local, Grow Namibia campaign. The campaign was founded in 2022 with a primary focus on encouraging retailers to stock products made in Namibia and persuading consumers to buy local produced goods while empowering local producers at the same time. Now joining me in the studio this morning with more details on the latest phase of the campaign is business and investigative reporter at the Namibian newspaper Lazarus Amukeshe, as well as Erolise Shipura, a development coordination officer within the Partnership and Development Finance at the United Nations Namibia Residence Coordination Officer. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
and
morning.
Welcome to the show.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So give us a brief background. What is Buy Local Grow Namibia about?
Buy Local Grow Namibia is a very wonderful initiative. It was launched in 2020 by the Right Honourable Minister of Trade, Lucia Ipumbu. It's really an initiative that I think it was birthed during the heat of COVID. I think 2020, we're still not quite so sure what this was about, COVID related. And it was really to bring about a convergence, if I can put it that way, of Namibians saying, let us support all Namibian grown, and all Namibian produced goods in an attempt to grow the local economy. Because if you've seen in 2020, the economy went very bad down. We recorded a GDP negative of 8.9%. So you'd see it was really a call for us to move and say, let us support Namibian goods and in so doing support the local economy as well.
I think 2020 was a year one for the books, so in history for the Namibian economy.
Definitely.
And if we recall, that was the first lockdown and people were flocking to buy food and stock and keep it in their homes for a while because we didn't know when and where. Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So, I mean, in that regard, also there was an alarm or a notice that we might not get imports from South Africa.
So it was also a little bit of, so you see borders were closed, and then if borders are closed, then what then will happen? Because if then you're just used to buying stuff from a particular retailer, which only imports, and you have no awareness of your local goods, then that becomes a problem. Then you will say, we have no goods when in that case it's not actually true, but you have local goods that you just not are aware of. So it was really a call to firstly make Namibians are aware that there are particular products that they have in Namibia. Also, we don't always have to import, but we also have local goods that we can also buy in that regard as well, yeah.
Erolise, talk to us. What are the objectives of this campaign?
Well, for the UN, this is really important because it speaks directly to the Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 8, which talks about decent work and economic growth. And this campaign directly speaks to SDG 8. Not only the two of you spoke about the import restrictions under pandemics like COVID, but also the country has a very high unemployment rate. So one of the ways to sustainably address unemployment is to support local businesses. Everywhere it has been shown that SMEs create the most jobs. And if we don't support our SMEs, if we don't buy from them, if we don't use their products and services, how are they going to create jobs? How are we going to address that? And also, one of the other important SDGs that this campaign addresses is climate action, SDG 13. So if we utilize our local products and services, we are cutting down on the transportation cost, which is environmentally friendlier, and it really speaks directly to SDG 13.
I think it also speaks to food security, isn't it?
It speaks to food security. Lately, we've been talking about food security. The war in Ukraine, or the crisis in Ukraine and Russia, has directly impacted us. And this campaign, again, talks about how can we support our agricultural products. And also part of that, that's why we have the retailers that are on board. For example, Food Lovers Market, 80% of their products now, after the campaign, because they are one of the retailers that are supporting this campaign, are from local farmers.
Wow, great.
Yes.
Yes, in that regard, what is the stigma actually behind that people don't buy locally? Why do they need this motivation to buy locally? What's behind it?
I think to answer that question, it's probably, let me answer it in two ways. First would be, I think it's a lack of an awareness that sometimes we don't really know that we have this kind of products in the country. And you know, when you're used to such, you know, big brands, when you see another one, it's like, oh, where is this one coming from? But if you go beyond that and say, oh, this is actually made in Namibia. That's why it's always important sometimes you have that Team Namibia logo on the on your products, and then people are aware that we actually have this kind of product in Namibia. Secondly, I think to that is obviously the pricing. Sometimes our local goods, unfortunately, are priced a little bit expensive. But
Really?
then again,
I look at it if I can buy a banana
Yeah.
on the street as compared to buying it in Woolworths.
yeah,
Then it's way cheaper to buy it there.
yeah, that's
It
a
depends. It depends on the product.
Okay.
It depends on the product. But sorry, Lazarus. Just to add to what Lazarus was saying about the impression. So one of the things that this campaign really, I think, successfully managed to address is the impression that Namibian-made products are inferior, which is not true. Because now the 5 retailers that have signed up, Spar, Woolworth, ShopRite Checkers, Pick n Pay, and Agra, they all have a Namibian, buy local, grow Namibia sticker underneath all the locally made products.
Great.
But what we got most from it is that some of the products in Woolworth are locally produced, just branded under the Woolworth brand. And that really did a lot for the campaign, like, oh my goodness. And they have that under the locally, the Woolworth branded products, but that are locally made. They still have the buy local, grow Namibia campaign. So people are now aware that this product that you thought was, because Woolworth is really upmarket, is actually produced in Namibia.
Yes, very well, very well. We're talking more on the buy. Let's move to grow Namibia, right? On the production scale, Namibia is vast. There's so much land. How's production coming alongside? Does it meet the demand of the people? Can we cut off completely from importing?
I think it's probably going to take time for us to get to that. Firstly, because at the moment we also don't have, you know, sufficient factories to cater for all of that. And it's not only at factories, even the agricultural sector.
Sorry, can we just mention a few what you're talking at cater for all of that? If you're talking about grow, for me, I'm just thinking green pepper that we can go fetch from the field and that's it. What would we need the factory for?
Okay, so growth, I think let's not limit it specifically to that. Let's broaden it.
Yes.
And growth, I think, economically and in terms of producing, it can mean obviously your agricultural sector. It can mean your factory if you're producing something. That means if you have a manufacturing sector that is so small, if you produce more, that means there's growth there as well. So that, in a sense, I think. But to really answer the question on really whether we have capacity, I think capacity initiatives like this is really what is calling for that, the growth in those capacities. That we really remember, you can only produce a lot more if your demand is quite high. And if we don't promote Namibian products, which then in turn means we're going to promote a lot of growth in those spaces, more employment, and that then creates a whole ripple effect that we're then going to see growth across the board. That it's not only a thing of where you're growing from a production space, but also it has additional benefits across the line that you'll then get to see that the economy grows all at once as well.
It's a whole value chain.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
So, Erelai, tell us what are the partners who are behind Buy Local Grow Namibia?
So we have Lazarus here from the Namibian newspaper. They are the official media partner for the campaign, and they've really done a lot in terms of awareness creation. I'm here from the UN. We have the Namibia Trade Forum, which falls under the Ministry of Trade and Industrialization. And we have Team Namibia. And also the campaign logo was created by, it used to be called Weatherman & Co., but it's now Brand X. So they created that beautiful logo for the campaign for us.
Okay. So what is it beneficial for Namibians to actually buy local and grow in Namibia?
Yeah, I think it's beneficial. Firstly, grows the economy. Secondly, with that then comes additional jobs. With that comes, what you're talking about, food security, which is talking about, reducing a carbon footprint, in terms of, if then it means we only have to transport goods from a factory in Windhoek to a shop in Windhoek, and as opposed to driving a truck all the way from South Africa or from anywhere else to bring, you see the carbon emissions are too much for that. But if we then grow locally, then that means we have a chance of reducing that as well. I think an additional benefit to the campaign is that it raises more awareness of Namibian products, and also answers the question of saying Namibian products are not inferior. And then secondly, when I was talking to the price situation, if you produce more and then you grow your economies of scale, and that means in the long term, that will then reduce your pricing of local goods. So it's a win for Namibians if you support the initiative.
So Namibians should produce like never before.
Most definitely.
Tell us more about the fair. Who is involved and why do they need to use this type of platform?
Well, the fair really provides market access to a lot of SMEs, a lot of service providers. The phase 2 of this campaign also focuses a lot on the creative industry, because the creative industry was really hard hit by COVID. They couldn't perform. So there will be performers. There will be a lot of SMEs, MSMEs from variety. So we've got arts, we've got fashion, we've got food, we've got technology, and also services. And we will also have, so the fair will be from 10 to 6, and then after 6 until 7:30, we will be showcasing Namibian-made film production from Kino Namibia, really talking about our Namibian issues, but also just to also showcase the kind of quality that we have across all of these sectors.
So when will this fair be?
The fair will be on Saturday. It is free. Importantly, it's free. Please come out and support.
Who's welcome? Who can come?
Everybody can come, and we will be hosted at the FNCC. So FNCC came on board as a partner for this fair, as well as the local merchant, 2 young ladies that are really actively involved in promoting Namibian-made products and services. And they have a shop somewhere in Independence Avenue, I think, that only stocks Namibian-made products.
So in this regard, you're also talking products, not only food, right?
Yes, not only food. It will be a range of products. So there will be art. We will have fashion, art, fashion, technology. So some of the Namibian-made applications would be on showcased as well, and the services, the kind of different services that the Namibian country has to offer. As well as also we'll have performers, local performers. So this is really catering everybody. Yeah, very, very Namibian.
Fully Namibian.
I think maybe just to give numbers to that, we're going to have around about 4 performers. We're going to have 6 local food stands and around about 46 local different, touching on a whole lot of sectors. So it's a jam-packed event here.
And importantly, there'll also be an entertainment area for the kiddies. We can't leave them out.
Oh, wow.
So it's a family event.
It's a whole family event. So tell us, why should Namibians come and support the Grow Local, Buy Local, Grow Namibian Fair?
I think everybody that is watching, I think it's important that you come by and really support the initiative. I think we've laid down the benefits quite well. Yeah. I think for you to actually not just about knowing them, but now come put it into practice. So when come and feel proud. So when you spend $10 on Kapana, it's going down. Excuse me, it's going down until the farmer. If you spend something on the creative sector where somebody has made locally made earrings, it's going down and support the family, create more jobs. So it's really about coming out the numbers to support the industries across the board. And I think this is a good one that if then we do it right, we're going to grow the local economy. We are going to create more jobs in the long run, and we're also going to, these prices that we constantly always complain about, the Namibian products are going to be out. We're going to grow those economies of scale and really see that prices in the future will also come down. So this is a good one that is really, if we are going to set a correct foundation for growing the Namibian economy, this is one of the initiatives we cannot afford to miss.
Just before we round it off, how are the entrepreneurs emerging with this Namibian buying local, grow Namibia,
I think we have come across so many different interesting entrepreneurs. So we can't talk about that we don't have quality entrepreneurs, or we don't have ideas, or we are not innovative. That's not true.
That's way gone.
That's way gone. That's not true. If you come out on Saturday, you will see the kind of things that Namibians can produce and the kind of ideas that Namibians have. So it's really a wide range of products. Just come out and see for yourself if you don't believe me.
So in your final remarks as well, do tell us again, where is the fair taking place? When is it taking place? Who should come out? And then you can give us your final remarks, please.
Okay.
Both of you, yes.
FNCC, 10 o'clock, the 24th of September, this Saturday. And it's free entrance from 10 o'clock until, if you are into movies, please also make time for the movies. If you are into movies, it will be until 7:30. The movies will start from 6 o'clock, and it's locally made productions from Kino Films. And also entertainment. So we have the Owls, the Yesterday, SA Brass Band, and who else? Zacharias Tam, I think. Yeah. So those are the 4 local musicians
yes.
that will be performing.
So yeah, if definitely if you have nowhere to be on Saturday, I'll encourage you to do this. When you wake up, come with an empty stomach because food will be there. If you want to be entertained, entertainers will be there. If you are into films, we'll see the screening of the Kino Project 2022. If you'd want to see where Namibians are actively participating across the industry, be it services, you talk about food, across the board, all industry will be largely, if not all of them, be represented at the fair. So come one, come all, bring all your families. Everybody is welcome to the fair on Saturday, 24 September 2022.
Yes.
Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it's happening this Saturday at FNCC, the Buy Local Grow Namibia Fair. This was Lazares Amokeshe, the business and investigative reporter from the Namibian newspaper, as well as Erolais Shipura, the development coordination officer from the Namibian United Nations, sharing on the fair taking place this Saturday at FNCC.